to the Stanley Cup.
Make the plays that are there, but we're going forward here. We're not going backwards. The three mandatory things that we talked about here, extraordinary work ethic has to be there, so make sure we're ready to play at pace here. Stay connected. Play 5 guys connected in all zones here. There's no cheat in our game, and then eliminate turnovers to their transition. We want to be fast. We want to be physical. We want to be disciplined. Let's get after it and have some fun here. Keep things moving. Sammy, Orly, Gents, and Kuzi, give us a good
Peter Laviolette has the Capitals ready for ESPN Plus Hockey Night, presented by New Amsterdam Vodka. And we are just about set to drop the puck. Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, both on the ice. It's the Caps and the Penguins. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wischusen here with Ray Ferraro, Emily Kaplan. Down between the benches, she'll join us in just a moment. I can't tell you how excited I am to be here to see these two legends well into their second decades facing off against one another, and yet they may still be at the height of their respective games.
They are. I mean, clearly they're going to be Hall of Famers as soon as they're eligible. But what's really cool tonight is we get to watch these two great players playing as well as they have all season long. Sidney Crosby had a slow start, a wrist surgery, then COVID. Now 10 points in his last 6 games in a 6-game point streak. Alex Ovechkin has got his 20th goal of the year already. That's 17 straight years with 20 goals. Only Brendan Shanahan and Gordie Howe have more. Two of the very best players of their generation playing at the peak of their games, and they both still lead their teams.
Now, we'll watch these two superstars tonight, but arguably the hottest player in the National Hockey League not playing tonight. A 13-game point streak is put to the side for Jake Guentzel. He blocked this Adam Larson wrist shot in Seattle on Monday night. He would leave the ice. He would return, still in the first period, play the rest of the game, score 2 goals in a 6-1 win over the Kraken, but not able to play tonight. So, Emily, how does this impact from a trickle-down effect the top line for the Penguins?
So flanking Sidney Crosby tonight will be 2 players whose seasons are going in different directions. On one end is Evan Rodriguez, whose confidence is at an all-time high. He came over from a trade in Buffalo where he was often a healthy scratch, a 4th-line grinder. Pens love his versatility. He always knew he could play in this top role. Now he's given the opportunity and seeing career highs in all areas. Then there's Kasperi Kapanen, who's been demoted down the lineup. Last year, he generated a lot of chemistry with Evgeny Malkin, especially off the rush. This year, he struggles with consistency, so they're working on his game down low.
And we are just about set to drop the puck. Right now, let's go back to Artem in the studio.
Thank you very much, Bob. Taking a look at the NHL all-time career goal leaders. Entering tonight, Alex Ovechkin is 4th on the NHL's all-time list with 750. He's passed 2 so far this season. Brett Hull and Marcel Dion, you can't see on that list. He's currently 16 goals shy of tying Jaromir Jagr, the greatest hair in history in the NHL, for 3rd all-time. But he has passed quite a few milestones along the way.
The best goal scorer of our generation. Backhand shot, score! Ovechkin pulls ahead of Marcel Dion, all alone in 5th place. The hull has been breached. Alex Ovechkin, 4th all time.
Alex Ovechkin steps and fires. He scores! 750 for the Great Eights.
So, I think a lot of people are hoping the answer is yes, but quickly, both of you, does he do it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you heard that the best goal scorer of our generation. He'll go down as he'll be the best goal scorer ever.
He's got to stay healthy. Yeah. He has a chance.
He has so far.
Yeah.
I mean, like he says, Russian machine never breaks. But here we'll have to see, and hopefully a lot of people are anticipating that might very well happen. We're going to send it back to Bob Wischusen on site. Bob.
Well, Artem, tonight's odds, obviously Washington at home would be a favorite, certainly for Pittsburgh at the end of a 5-game road trip. And playing earlier this week all the way across the country, not an easy task, but so often, Ray, it comes down to who is between the pipes, who plays the best. They can throw the odds out the window if you get another Tristan Jarry-like effort. He's been tremendous.
He really has, bouncing back after a really difficult playoff. He thought that they might go out and get another goaltender in the offseason. General manager Ron Hextall had a talk with him in the offseason, said, you're his guy. You're going to play. Now play better. He's been terrific. Ilya Samsonov takes the net again for Washington. What a terrific start to the season for the youngster. Samsonov has taken over the #1 job here in Washington. Not much better than this, is it? 41 points for Ovechkin, 6-game point streak, 13 points in 13 games for Crosby. And they're on the ice together to start the game.
It will be Crosby. Evgeny Kuznetsov facing off center circle, and we are underway. And again, also on ESPN Plus, we'd like to remind you that we do have the Star Watch channel available. So we'll have a camera on Crosby and Ovechkin all night long as Tom Wilson brings one across the line, sets up Ovechkin, and his first drive is up and out of play.
That took 20 seconds for Ovechkin to shoot the puck the first time. Coach Mike Sullivan of the Pittsburgh Penguins has had to deal with a roster that is constantly in flux. Injuries, Malkin's still not back. Now they lose Gensel. They haven't had Crosby for long. COVID issues throughout the season. Now they can't even call players up from their American League team, as their AHL team, Wilkes-Barre, had a COVID outbreak as well. So they're trying to get through day to day to get their lineup back, but they're hanging in.
It's a defensive zone draw one here. Broken up and neutralized though by John Carlson. It comes to the red line, and it's ladled in softly by Jason Zucker on the back end. Arabari takes a hit behind the net, tries to move the puck. 3-on-2 battle along the wall. Pinching in is John Marino to try and help. Zucker comes together with Carlson in the left wing corner. It is cycled to Jeff Carter. Back up top. A soft wrist shot on net from Marcus Pettersson. Easily gloved down by Ilya Samsonov. We were listening into the pregame talk of Peter Laviolette. And as he was talking, you looked at me and said, it's always the same message all these years for Coach Lav.
For Peter Laviolette, it is. He wants the game direct. He wants it fast. He wants to limit turnovers and put the other team on their back foot. It's funny, we're just talking about Mike Sullivan dealing with an ever-changing lineup. The Capitals are no different. Peter Laviolette has had a wheel of players through their lineup, including some youngsters that probably wouldn't be in the National Hockey League were there not for all the injuries in Washington.
COVID also throws a completely added layer of needing extra bodies ready to come up at a moment's notice to join your roster. TJ Oshie winds one to Hagelin, keeps it moving further back to the point, and that one-time wrister from Nick Jensen sails wide. Sidney Crosby dropping one for Kapanen, has his pocket picked by Lars Eller. Hagelin with a step down the right wing, drops one off for Eller. Eller toe drags behind the net. He will cycle one to Dmitry Orlov as the defenseman pinches in looking to make a play. Orlov kept it moving. A drop pass, though, no one home except Evan Rodriguez. Now to neutralize, Teddy Bluger dumps it in. Orlov pivots away nicely from the forecheck of Bluger. Off the penalty box doors into Pittsburgh ice. Now that fourth line out there for the Capitals. Alexei Protas winds it around. Justin Schultz at the right point, hoping for Protas in the trapezoid. He lost it. Brock McGinn moves it, banks it off the wall, and it's out to the neutral zone. Is this one of those nights where as a player you know it's just a little bit different? This is not your run-of-the-mill regular season hockey game?
There's a lot of games in the course of the year, and there's some that just feel a little different. I was in Toronto last night. Tampa Bay was in there. It just felt different. You know, those two teams don't like each other. There's a rivalry there. It's the same for the Pens and the Caps. They've been playing against each other, a lot of these players, nose to nose for a long time.
Loose in the left wing corner. As Kuznetsov sent it behind the net. John Marino moves it for Pittsburgh. It's out to neutralize. Over skating with Zucker. Did that help you get through an 82-game regular season, though, to have those games you'd highlight knowing here comes a big rivalry game?
Well, yeah, sure. There's games you need to give you a little energy, a little juice. There's some that they're really hard. The travel's hard. You don't feel that great. You kind of slog your way through it. These ones they're easy to play.
Ryan Boyle with a step down the wing, and he throws a soft backhander in on Ilya Samsonov. He will hold on. So if you are on our main feed right now here on ESPN Plus, want to head over to the Star Watch and check out the isolation cameras that we will have on Crosby and Ovechkin. It's a peek at what it will look like. And I think is interesting with Emily down there keeping her eye on between the benches on how these two leaders interact with the guys on the bench as much as what they do out on the ice.
Well, Emily won't get much farther away from Ovechkin than she is now. He always comes in, sits in that same seat. He's got his little stuff that he hangs out with over there, but he's always in the same spot on the bench. Crosby will roll down the bench like you just kind of go in your rotation, but Ovechkin always on the end. What's also pretty cool is just, if you're watching the star camera, is that not just their interaction, but what they do between shifts. Some guys are really intense, other guys are not. Ovechkin's always taping a stick, getting new gloves. There's always lots going on. Some guys just sit there like they're watching a movie.
I was going to say, what would Ray Ferraro's Star Watch isolation camera look like back in the day? A lot of talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone was listening, but I was talking.
Hagelin, an outlet pass, brings it across the line, drops one, and that is driven wide by Orlov. Centered back towards Orlov. Jumping in the passing lane, Kapanen, and a hit ahead. Oh, what a beautiful pass to Rodriguez. He hits the iron. Evan Rodriguez with a break as Kapanen with the perfect outlet pass. And jumping off the bench to join the play, Dominique Simon. A funny bounce off the sidewall, almost corralled by Crosby. Simon behind the net. Puts the brakes on. Holds in the corner. It rolls in on Samsonov, and he will glove it and hold on. Rodriguez this close to getting the game's first goal.
This is a great play by Kasperi Kapanen as he picked up the loose puck. He's starting to look over his left shoulder to see what's available. Look at Evan Rodriguez sprint out ahead. He gets out ahead of the pack, ahead of Lars Eller, in clean, and Rodriguez, who's had a terrific season, picks his spot, but he hits the post dead on, and the puck comes straight back. Doesn't hit Samsonov, doesn't deflect into the net. A bad break for Evan Rodriguez, but that's a great play by Kapanen.
There's a drive that goes wide by Dumoulin. Off the offensive zone draw, won by Brian Boyle. That drive also just a tad wide from Chris Letang. Winding in the corner, playing it back up towards the point, vacated by Letang with Simon. Boyle, one touch, Simon brings it down. Wrist shot, save made by Samsonov. Kuznetsov goes rink wide to Ovechkin, right back to Kuznetsov. Deftly between the skates, puts the brakes on. Back up top to Faravari. His wrister is gloved down by Jari, and he will hold on.
Well, the best chance of the game, obviously, was Evan Rodriguez's breakaway. He's got plenty of time to pick his spot. He opens the blade out late. So as he's going to shoot, he opens his blade out late. That changes the angle. He hits the post, and Rodriguez gets to watch the big board and see where the puck hit and how, after it hit, it doesn't hit Samsonov. It ends up into the corner, not into the net.
Earlier today, talking to Mike Sullivan, you heard Emily talk about it leading up to the drop of the puck. Evan Rodriguez, he's just made himself impossible to demote. He's played so well, and a player that Mike Sullivan said when we first brought him on board, we didn't think he would be part of our top six, but he's taken advantage of the opportunity.
One of the problems with him playing in the top six is that, or the top three now, is that they had envisioned him in the middle of their lineup. So you lose depth through the middle of your lineup as he's got to move up.
Eddie Bluger, a one-touch pass right out in front. Oh, Samsonov is able to move left to right and kick out the opportunity. And now back down in Pittsburgh's end. Sprong on the forecheck, almost found the puck as Brock McGinn just missed. McGinn with a stretch pass through center. Bluger had it roll off his stick. And to gather it in. And it ends up behind the net. Back Aston Reese out on the forecheck as well.
Samsonov's made a couple of great stops already. One with the right pad, one with the left pad. Then the bounce off the post on the Rodriguez breakaway. And the Caps are probably pretty lucky they're tied at 0.
Tom Wilson moves in, throws one out in front off the skates of Kuznetsov. Ends up behind the net. Play to the near wing half boards where Ovechkin tracks it down. To Faravari, right point now Carlson. So there's one forward for Kuznetsov. He'll drop one off for a cutter, that's Faravari. He gathers it in behind the net, beneath the goal line. Cycles for Wilson. Right back to the near side. Farivari lines it back in once again. Offensive zone possession time here for Washington, unable to create a good scoring opportunity. And now a 3-on-2 the other way. And a missed opportunity as Jeff Carter had that outlet pass float off his stick. Off the shin pads of Wilson, center circle. Missed by Ovechkin, taken by Kuznetsov across the line. He'll drop one to Ovechkin, right back to Kuznetsov. Moves in, tried to go short side, and it was blockered away by Jarry. Chris Letang peels back and waits for the cavalry charge to arrive from the bench. Jensen dumps it right back down into Pittsburgh's end. Letang uses the net to shield. Kapanen rink wide to Rodriguez. Rodriguez had to take it right off his stick. Transition. And trying to step down the right wing, but losing the puck was Brett Leeson. Beck Malenstein goes in to throw his body around. This last line, these three forwards that have gotten opportunities with all of the injuries and some players in COVID protocol. Peter Laviolette has been very solid, he said.
Had to play them out of necessity and has found that they've controlled the majority of shifts that they're on the ice. And didn't think any of these three would be in the NHL at this point this year, including the youngster Alexei Protas, number 59. A 6'6" centerman, 20 years old. They've just been so impressed with how he's handled the NHL game.
A turnover. Simone throws it towards the net, and Samsonov will control it. Just over 8 minutes gone by in a scoreless first.
Ilya Samsonov's been the story early. Evan Rodriguez gets the breakaway. He gets a bounce as this hits the goalpost, but it's not just luck. He's made a couple of terrific saves, including this one with the left pad of Zach Aston Reese.
Is presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, the official vodka of the NHL. Drink responsibly. Of course, Sidney Crosby has his name on the cup 3 times. Alex Ovechkin winning it back in 2018 with the Caps, but neither of these two teams has had much playoff success of late. They haven't gotten out of the first round collectively over the last 3 years. That might change this year, though, as they're both off to pretty hot starts. Bob Wischusen, Ray Ferraro, Emily Kaplan taking in Ovechkin and Crosby, the Caps and the Penguins. Wheel around pass by Sprong. And now Washington has to, on the back pedal, feed it back to Matt Irwin. Oshie, Sprong off the right wing boards, left it and no one home. Ping pong hockey as it's taken by Matheson and dumped in. Dustin Schultz outlets TJ Oshie, gets to the red line and had his pocket picked by Chad Ruedel. Now Ruedel goes rink wide to Matheson. In front of the penalty box doors, fired in by Zucker. Samsonov with a funny bounce behind the net, bailed out by Carlson. And here's Lars Eller. Eller will feather one in, go after his own dump in. Ruedel tries to pivot away from him. Matheson supports. Connor Sheary there. He, of course, one of 3 players for this Washington team that won 2 cups as members of the Penguins. Farivari with an intercept. And a stretch pass floats in. Jarry lets it go. It's wound into the corner. And taken by Hagelin. Plays it deep to Lars Eller. And now Sheary. Right back to Eller along the half boards. Swept off his stick by Zucker. And feathered deep by Dalton Heinen. Crosby in on the forecheck. He forces a nifty move by Nick Jensen. Backhands a pass. That's too far for Wilson to handle, so Dumoulin is able to wrap it around. Jensen is back, lost the puck, thrown out in front. Tap to the corner by Rodriguez as Kapanen created some chaos in on the forecheck. There's Crosby as well. 3-on-3 in the corner. Kapanen tries to dig it free and does. Floats it back to Letang at the point. Backhands one into the high slot. There is a stretch pass. That is broken up with a reach and neutralized. Thrown out in front. Oh, Ovechkin just missed on a little soft backhand pass from Tom Wilson.
And Wilson just missed the breakaway pass and then made a great play to Ovechkin.
Rodriguez pirouettes. Throws one hard around. No one there but Orlov. And he'll send it back deep to Nick Jensen. Check that Justin Schultz. Schultz waits for some help. And he banks a pass off the right wing boards that goes the length of the ice. Icing is waved off as Protas was there first. Malenstein pinned up against the wall by Boyle. Brett Leeson digs it free. That's feathered out to the neutral zone and all the way down. A foot race for it. Matt Irwin comes together behind the net with Drew O'Connor. Feathered again off the wall by Leeson. Malenstein lost his edge. 8.5 minutes to go in a scoreless first period. Only 2 shots on net so far for Washington. 6 so far for the Penguins. And the best couple of saves certainly made so far by Ilya Samsonov.
The Pens have to be pretty happy with the way this game has started.
Sprong down the wing. That wrist shot blocked away by Matheson's skates. Ends up behind the net. Sprong has it. Softly back to Faravari at the point. Right point now Carlson. Wrist shot through traffic. And that's kicked away with the right pad by Jari. Oshie had it hop underneath his stick off the shelf. And right between the legs, Brock McGinn sends it free. Nifty little pass to Sprong, tries to toe drag through the legs and lost control. Dumoulin pitches it forward. Down deep it's Jensen. His shot off the stick of Jari, and now a 3-on-1 the other way. But the Penguins miss an opportunity as the Dalton Heinen pass ended up going to nowhere. And now Jensen brings it back. He loses control. Off the bench, Ovechkin brings it across the line to Kuznetsov. Moves in on the backhand. Sets up Wilson. He shoots it wide. Ovechkin flips it behind. Over 4 minutes without a whistle. 7 minutes and change to go here in the first period. Hard around, intended for Ovechkin, ends up with Crosby. An outlet pass, though, intercepted by Wilson. Here is Kuznetsov wheeling top of the circle, fires one towards the net, loose in front off the body of Wilson. And now an outlet pass. Here is Rodriguez down the left wing, drops one off to Crosby, sets up Kapanen, and that's blockered away by Samsonov. Rodriguez to the puck again, along the goal line. Kapanen plays it back up high. Pettersson to Marino. Marino winds one deep. Kapanen deep in the left wing corner. And that was a bouncing puck that ended up over the stick of Pettersson out to the neutral zone. Pettersson laying one forward for O'Connor. Gets it deep. Stopped by Samsonov. Moved around the wall. Faravari able to get it to Eller in center. And now Sheary takes a hit right in front of the Penguins bench. Probably in front of a few of his old teammates. Carlson up top, Faravari. Wrist shot and a knuckleball that bounces to the right wing corner where Eller will gather. Back to Carlson at the point, and he turns it over. A 2-on-1 chance for the Penguins. Across the line with a wrist shot. Samsonov is there to stone Drew O'Connor and keep it scoreless.
Washington's best chances come amongst a flurry of Penguins chances. It's Tom Wilson retrieving a loose puck and finding Alex Ovechkin in tight. He just chips this wide. Kasperi Kapanen, elevated to Sidney Crosby's line, has had a terrific start to this game, turned aside by Samsonov. And Samsonov does it again, this time on Drew O'Connor.
For his 5th goal of the year, Panarin and Fox with the assist. Rangers began the night just a point behind the Caps for first in the Metro, Bob. 1-0 in the first.
All right, Linda, thanks very much. Get the perfect holiday gifts for the hockey fans on your list at NHLShop.com. Shop the largest selection of official NHL gear now and get today's holiday offer. Connor Sheary center circle. Brings it across. Weaves in. Had his pocket picked by Crosby. Backed up, though, by Eller. Feeds one to Sheary. Eller just missed the one-timer. And now Crosby, a chance to break the other way, but did not win the 50-50 battle against Nick Jensen. And Jensen gets it deep. Orlov pinching in. Now it's all the way down the right wing boards as Rodriguez gets there first for the Penguins. Throws one out in front, hoping for Crosby, and instead it's Eller the other way. Babashuza, Ray Ferraro, Emily Kaplan here in Washington. No score, under 5 to go in the opening period. The 60th all-time regular season meeting between Ovechkin and Crosby. Turnover by Pittsburgh. Sprong into the skates. And there's a drive that just goes wide. Carlson leaned into one off the McMichael rush. Fired back in by Faravari. Intercept by Oshie. Matheson lost his edge, but was able from his hindquarters to save an opportunity as Faravari retreats and is able to wall off Brock McGinn. Carlson. Tape to tape. Oshie moves it back to Carlson, and he couldn't tee it up.
Oh, she had a chance to shoot that. A little more selfish there to deliver that as he tried to make one more pass.
Looked like Teddy Bluger, a good job on the back check to deny. Weaving his way into the offensive zone as Matheson plays one back up high. In between the circles, one-time shot. Score! Oh, what a beautiful setup. Danton Heinen pays it off. And the Pittsburgh Penguins take the early 1-0 lead.
Danton Heinen signed a one-year deal in Pittsburgh. It had a difficult year last year. Has been terrific. His 8th goal of the year. This is a beautiful play by the Penguins as they play a little give and go. Heinen works the puck into the middle of the ice and slides it outside to John Marino. Marino's pass goes left to right on Samsonov and through the traffic in front of him. He's a little late to pick it up. Heinen makes no mistake. Goals in back-to-back games, and the Pens a well-deserved 1-0 lead.
Danton Heinen with his 8th of the season.
They love him because he's versatile. He plays both wings. He plays up and down the lineup, but he's been really consistent. The former Boston Bruin, and then it went to Anaheim, signed a one-year deal here, and he's been terrific so far.
Washington will now try and answer as Matt Irwin sends one behind the net. It's moved up to Heinen on the near boards. Over skating was Jeff Carter. It's reversed to Dumoulin. Carter tried to break out. Instead, it's Ovechkin. He lost it to Letang. And now right down the center of the rink comes Zucker. That wrister was blocked. Beautifully done. Orlov was able to get back. And now Wilson along the half boards to Ovechkin. He pokes it in the corner. Ovechkin back to the puck. Here is Kuznetsov. Tried to play one back up top. Caroms to Orlov. Orlov puts the brakes on. Hopped over the stick of Wilson. Pinching in right side is Nick Jensen. He lost it, but Ovechkin keeps it alive. Kuznetsov now mans the point. Left point now Orlov. Back to Kuznetsov. Long one-timer. And that is gobbled up by Tristan Jarry. And he will hold on with 2:38 to go in the first. And the Penguins on top 1-0.
Danton Heinen walks down the middle of the slot to take the return pass from John Marino. The Penguins on the road. They have the first goal in a 1-0 lead.
Both of these teams have contested. They're waiting for stars to come back.
That's right. Evgeny Malkin is skating with the team, which is positive. We just don't have a time frame yet of when he's going to come back, but it does seem like it will be soon. Meanwhile, Nicholas Backstrom is skating with the team. He's been on some trips. The goal is to get him a game before the Christmas break, rest that hip over Christmas, see how he is, so we could see him sometime the next week.
Man, Emily, what significant additions for both teams, eh? Like to get both of those guys into the lineup, you put them in the middle of the ice, and makes everybody around you so much better.
Takeaway, and moving in is Crosby. Trying to go to the backhand. Again, that was denied by Nick Jensen. It's up at the point to Marino, who set up the Heinen goal. He carries it deep in the right wing corner. Ovechkin trying to sweep the puck off his stick, and here comes Alex Ovechkin down the left wing. Brings it across the line. Toe drags, moves in. rolls a puck into the pads of Jari. Could not get any mustard on the shot, though. And Rodriguez pitches one forward. And it's feathered out to the neutral zone by Sidney Crosby.
I can guarantee you, Kasperi Kapanen didn't feel very good about being the defenseman back there, trying to cover for John Marino, and Ovechkin went around him. And fortunately for the Penguins, the puck slid off his stick.
Ever remember one of those Ray Ferraro moments, like an "oh no, I've now been put in the defensive position"?
Yeah, you turn around and go forwards. You turn it into a forward skating race. It's hard to turn if you never do it.
Carlson tucks one in the corner. It is a turnover, though. As now Malenstein moves in to try and tie the puck up. Alexei Protas there as well. It is reversed. Carlson has it. But a giveaway. Good pressure here by the forecheck of the Penguins. Teddy Bluger was walled off by Protas. Out in neutral ice. Taken right back across the line. Pitched towards the net by Brock McGinn. Covered up by Samsonov.
Let's go. Rangers having trouble changing here. McDavid, beautiful move.
It's going down. We a generation of legends in the making. It's going down right now.
At 750 career goals, Ovechkin makes a dash for 751 as he gets the forward Kapanen to get his skates together. Now you can't turn. The puck just slides off his stick and down to Tristan Jarry and out of danger.
This will be icing on Washington with just under 53 seconds to go in the first period.
The Penguins have only given up 12 goals in the first period this year, the fewest in the National Hockey League. And the Capitals down one, would love to even this up, but a scrambly start for Washington, maybe a little bit better in the last 5 or 7 minutes, but this has been a great road period for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Carter pokes it behind. It is moved by Justin Schultz off the half boards up to the neutral zone. Center circle, stepping up, is Matheson. Down the left wing, softly in on Samsonov. He will glove down the wrist shot of Zucker. Now the numbers that Alex Ovechkin has put up and continues to put up, and is there any reason to think, other than health getting in the way, that he might not catch Wayne Gretzky?
I think he's going to do it. I know John Butchergross has been on this train for about 4 years now. And everybody laughed at him at the beginning, and now it's, I mean, it almost feels like it's inevitable that there's going to be a push to Gretzky's record. I hope he gets close. I think it would be fabulous for the sport.
I heard Wayne Gretzky say he hopes he breaks it as well.
How about Wayne Gretzky always says, I'm not much of a goal scorer. You got more than anyone else in the history of the game.
13 seconds to go in the period as Lars Eller gets it center circle. Sheary will backhand one along off the stick of Hagelin. Ends up across the Pittsburgh line down to the last 3 seconds of the period. And it will be the Danton Heinen goal. That's the only scoring in the first period. 1-0. Pittsburgh on top of Washington after one. Back to the studio and Arda Oken.
Thank you, Bob. Coming up on our Lexus First Intermission Report, the Penguins strike first. We'll break down high and the goal that's been viewed over 50 million times, part of our Top Shelf Plays of the Week.
You know, we gave up a little too much of, them in our own zone. I think when we're playing the right way, and we're going to get on-man rushes and make good plays on the wall, and we'll get our chances.
Samsonov was stopping a lot early. You got one past him. Tell me, what did you see on that goal, and what did you see from that pass from Marino?
Yeah, actually, it was Mikey that made a great play there when I was coming off the bench, and then, another great play by Johnny, just trying to get to open ice, and he made a great play, and I just put it in.
How would you describe the intensity in this game versus a typical game around this time of year?
Yeah, no, this one's intense. It's good pace to it. Anytime you come in here, it's good energy. We know this team is going to play hard, and we weren't happy kind of with our game last time we were in here. So hopefully we can keep it going. Get 2 points tonight.
And what's the key for the second?
I think kind of like we talked about before, is just make good plays on the walls and support each other. And I think we do that, we'll get our looks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Really appreciate it.
All right, taking a look at Crosby and Ovechkin head-to-head. Ice time, just 30 seconds off. Ovechkin with half a minute more, 9 shifts to 7. Obviously, both of them off of the score sheet. Ovechkin with 1 shot on goal. Almost had a highlight reel goal, though. Just getting past the defender, just not being able to get on net. John Tortorella, Rick DiPietro, I'm Mardo Ocal. Thanks for joining us on Alexa's First Intermission Report. That would have been a highlight reel if he had scored.
Yeah, and the excuse is all, forwards can't skate backwards. Stop it. No, he was licking his chops. We were talking, Torts and I were talking about it. You lift your head up and you see a forward skating backwards. You saw exactly what he tried to do. And actually, Kapanen makes a nice play to swing his stick and kind of knock the puck off his stick.
He's wetting his pants, though. He sees Ovechkin coming down on him, and he does make a nice play at the end.
Let's talk about just preparing too, preparing for a rivalry game like this. Ovechkin has not scored only 1 time in their last 12 head-to-head meetings against Sidney Crosby. Obviously, this is not something that he's necessarily thinking about, but there is a magnitude to games like this. How do you manage it? You're a coach going into a rivalry game like this. Do you address it at all? How do you manage it?
No, I think we make it more of a thing. These are games, and I think Ray was talking about it. It's a grind. Come December, and you get near the holidays, and you've been traveling. These are good games to play for players because you get more energy out of it. But I don't think they make a big deal out of it. It's another game. It's a big game for them. It's the 2 guys going head-to-head, and it's within the division. But I think we make more out of it than they do.
See, but that's what makes it a big game, though. It's less about, in the locker room, it's less about Ovi and Sid.
Yeah.
And more about the fact this is a division game.
Division game.
2 really good teams. And, I think, Torch, you hit it. You get this point of the season, and everyone's tired, especially now dealing with the COVID issues and everything else. You saw those pregame speeches where everyone's got masks on. So it's been a grind, but this is one of those ones you show up, and it doesn't take any extra effort to all of a sudden get yourself to the level you need to be at.
Well, Ovechkin and Crosby have certainly given us a lot of highlights over the years. When we come back, we're going to show you our top shelf plays of the week, including a goal that has been seen over 50 million times online. I'm sure it'll reach 100 by the end of the week. Unbelievable. You'll see it after the break.
This First Intermission Report is presented by Lexus. Innovation means nothing unless it sparks something.
You've got to be kidding me! Cale Makar!
You want heavyweight matchups? You got it. Hurricanes, Wild, Rangers, Avalanche, exclusively on ESPN Plus on Tuesday. Here's your top shelf plays of the week.
Marc-Andre Fleury has now joined the elite company in the National Hockey League. He wins his 500th game of his career.
But here comes Wall. Wall with numbers. Here's the Golden Knights. He slides it across, down in front, they score! Jonathan Marchessault.
And Omar to save, and then Omar with a 2-pad stack on Warren Fogle. Deep, tipped away rebound, somehow Estino. Unbelievable. Newhook and Peace shoots and scores! What a goal by Alex Newhook! He sliced through the entire Senators squad like a red-hot knife. Bunting driving the net in front of the net, they score! What a glorious play! And Austin Matthews does the finish!
He turns it over to Ovechkin, in on the right side, and he scores! Alex Ovechkin! Goal number 750!
Bunting shooting, save made, rebound, Simmons shoots, saved by Vasilevsky, the puck right in the blue paint!
Here comes Cale Makar. He shoots and scores! Oh, hail Cale! Coast to coast, I'll have the Makar special, and so will you. Shot in front. Oh, what a save! Holy Mackinac! What a save by Sophie Campbell! And gloves it and gets a big round from all of the Leafs. Sears, here's the get oh, look at this! Oh, he took it down! Oh my goodness, what a goal! The magic of Trevor Zegras.
This is the best assist I might have ever seen in the history of the National Hockey League.
Look at him, he's like, I can't believe it actually worked.
Yeah, I think we all had the same reaction. And on any other night, all those other highlights would have been the best highlight of the week, but there's nothing else that could have been. Maybe we'll get a highlight from Sidney Crosby in this one, 1-0 after 20. You've been watching the Lexus Intermission Report.
Two of the legends of the game squaring off here in D.C. And we are just about set for the start of the second period between the Penguins and the Capitals. Anton Heinen, beautiful feed from John Marino. This the only goal of the first period. Pittsburgh on the board. They've got the 1-0 lead as we are just about set for the start of period number 2 as we welcome you back to ESPN Plus Hockey Night presented by New Amsterdam Vodka. Relatively even. On the game recap, the only goal of the first period, as we said, scored by Heinen. And a terrific road period played by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just about set for the start of period number 2. Bob Wischiewski and Ray Ferraro. Emily Kaplan is with us as well. And you said it over and over again. Very impressed for 20 minutes on the road how well Pittsburgh played.
I thought they played an almost perfect road period. You know, before the game started, we saw Peter Laviolette chat to his team, and he talked about playing direct, playing fast, limiting turnovers. Pittsburgh did that. Pittsburgh was fast. They had the puck. They moved it forward. They had a breakaway for Evan Rodriguez. They held Washington to 1 slot shot. If you're able to do that, you win. That's a great road period for the Penguins.
Yeah, 1 shot on net for Alex Ovechkin. No shots on net in the first period for Sidney Crosby. But they got a very important shot on net from Danton Heinen. And that is the game's lone goal so far as we begin period number 2. Crosby putting some pressure on Eller. Banked out to the neutral zone by Nick Jensen. Cruising across the line is Orlov. Fires a wrister. That's blocked away by Jarry and has to come back with the paddle and make sure that Connor Sheary was not lurking along the goal line as we check in with Emily.
Guys, Alex Ovechkin, it's pretty famous that he has the same pregame meal. It's his heavy Italian from Mama Lucia's. I've also heard rumor that he has Coca-Cola during games. I got to the bottom of it. It's in this water bottle. It's not Coca-Cola. It's actually Pepsi during games. I saw him sip it a little in the first period. And in intermissions, he actually likes Dr. Pepper. Back to you.
That is the reason that Emily Kaplan is down there.
And he's got 750 goals. He can have whatever he wants in that water bottle.
If it works.
Penguins have 34 goals in the second period this year, the most in the National Hockey League. They want a little bit of a rebound after a pretty sluggish first for them.
Puck caroms around and ends up being banked out to neutral ice by McGinn. Barabari will chase. Sweeps it to Tom Wilson. Outlets Kuznetsov. Left wing pass for Ovechkin. And now a whistle away from the play.
Now here we are 40 seconds into the period, and when Faravari started that breakout, John Carlson took off right up the ice. And he was in the middle of that play, and I expect that Washington's defense will start to be a little bit more involved in the play. They were pretty quiet in that first.
These are also two teams that never take a penalty, or so it seems. Each averages just a shade over 6 minutes of penalty time per game, number 1 and number 2 in the NHL. And there's no better penalty kill than the Pittsburgh Penguins as well. So when you're not taking penalties, and even the few times you give up a power play, you never give up a goal. That's a pretty good recipe for success, especially on the road. Steady Bluger will feather one in. Aston Reese wraps it around, hoping for Brock McGinn. McGinn has it off the outside of the net. Carter shunts a pass back to the point. Pedersen winds it around. Marino plays it back to Carter. He will drive one. It's kicked out with the right pad by Samsonov. Kuznetsov looking for a break the other way. But Jarry will stop it in the trapezoid. Winding up with a head of steam through center is Jason Zucker. One touch across the line. Carter, his wrister off the lively end boards. Ends up with Heinen. Down in the left wing corner. Winding is Zucker. He flipped by Carter, hoping for Heinen. And instead, back the other way comes P.J. Oshie. Backhand one deep. Connor McMichael in on the forecheck, throws the body around. Carter able to lift the stick of Matt Irwin. then dumps it right back in. Zucker lost the puck. McMichael sent it through the slot. No one home for Washington. And that's tapped deep by Heinen, and Pittsburgh will change. Jensen's the stretch pass. That Oshie gets deep. And now gathering is Mike Matheson. Matheson to Ruhwedel. Sends it hard around. Goes to the puck. Nick Jensen pops it up in the air. Pinching in was Matheson. Jensen able to pivot away. And now it's pitched back towards the Washington line. Ruhwedel turns it over, and down the left wing comes Malenstein, a wrister that is gobbled up by Jari.
We see the fourth line for the Capitals on the ice. Let's check out Alexander Ovechkin and what his night's been like. Tom Wilson find him in close. He just chipped that wide of the net. That was his best chance. The only slot shot of the period for the Capitals. Here Ovechkin gets a one-on-one against Kapanen, and he walks him, and he's thrown over 3,000 hits in his career. And he lays the shoulder into Evan Rodriguez. That's a mismatch. When you're Rodriguez, sometimes you're the bug, and you get it once in a while.
End up on the windshield.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go there.
Kuznetsov wins the draw to Carlson. Carlson sends one deep for Ovechkin. Lost it. Dumoulin moves it. What surprises you more about Alex Ovechkin? That at this point in his career, he still scores goals at the same pace? Or that he can still be the same player physically and be hitting others as much as he does and come out every night and keep on doing it?
Well, I'd say both. His game has evolved and changed. He runs around the ice less than he did before, but it's kind of the same game. And he's not 25 years old anymore. I think it's remarkable, actually. His durability, his production year after year, 17 straight years of 20-plus goals. And I mentioned in the open, only Gordie Howe and Brendan Shanahan have more. That's it in the history of the game.
It's amazing. Puck caroms out to Faravari. His shot deflected to the high glass behind Jari. Along the half boards, pitching in Sheary. Throws one to the net now. And that was blocked before it got through to Jari. Ahead of Steve Pettersson. Feathers one in across the line. Back Aston Reese. And Brock McGinn both behind the net for Pittsburgh. Kept it moving. Poked by Justin Schultz, but not out. A turnover. And a broken stick on the shot by Brock McGinn. So he has to head to the bench. It's Lars Eller. He's able to gather the puck in the neutral zone, set it to Irwin. Irwin dumps it in. Marino, double team to the corner and turns it over. Gives it away to Sheary. Eller tries to kick the puck along. It's out in front. Sheary, at-wrist shot blockered away by Jari. Top of the circle, weaving through traffic and turning it over is Orlov. Aston Reese brings it across, sends it in softly and goes off for a change. Crowd, I think, was looking for a penalty on the penetration by Orlov. Apison through center. Hands one off for a Rodriguez wrister that's off the stick of Samsonov. Up and out of play. Again, if you're watching our main feed here on ESPN Plus, and you want a closer look at Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby, we do have an alternate channel. You'll still hear our stylists. You won't be robbed of that, but you'll also have a camera on our Star Watch feed on Crosby and Ovechkin and everything that they're doing on the ice and on the bench as well.
Crosby still doesn't have a shot yet tonight. They don't need many, these guys. Crosby running a 6-game point streak as well.
Wins the draw to Matheson. His pass deflected, and Tom Wilson sweeps one. Intended for Kuznetsov. Gathers in front of the penalty box doors and sends it rink wide for Ovechkin. A bouncing puck, won by Ruhwedel. Moves it around the wall. Kuznetsov is there. Ruhwedel tries to reverse. He's checked by Tom Wilson. And the puck floats out to the neutral zone, and here is Crosby. Trying to lower his shoulder and get past Orlov. Orlov is able to stop him, but Crosby with a centering pass and a great sliding play by Tom Wilson to break up that opportunity with Rodriguez on the doorstep. And Rodriguez centers one. There's a one-timer on net by Crosby, and that is stopped by Samsonov. Rodriguez set up the legend, and Crosby's first shot turned away by Ilya Samsonov. A little over 6 minutes gone by here in the second period. And that will be icing called on Pittsburgh.
The NHL's newest franchise.
The Kraken on the board. Score! Right place, right time.
Release the Kraken!
See the ongoing education of so many young players having an opportunity to play with Sidney Crosby. He and Alex Ovechkin. It's got to be a master class every game you get a chance to play with one of those guys. If you're a young player, like both of these teams have so many in the lineup because their depth has been tested right.
Well, you see them at practice. You see how they go about their business. And if you're a kid coming into the NHL, you know, you can have lots of people telling you lots of things. When you see it, then you know it.
Tank pivots along the right wing, half forward, working away from Sprung. Hands one off. Now it's up top. Left side, Dumoulin moves in, goes to the forehand, looking for a wraparound, and it rolled off of his stick. Side of the net, pushed on net by Zucker, and covered up by Samson.
A couple of good shifts in a row for the Penguins here after the Capitals carried the first part of the period. Evan Rodriguez tries to slide this across the slot. Nice play by Tom Wilson to prevent the pass to Kasperi Kapanen. Sidney Crosby's first shot of the game is a dangerous one. Rodriguez to Crosby, turned aside.
So then game 2 of the 09 Eastern Conference semifinals, both with hat tricks. Ovechkin completing his with 2 goals in the span of 2.5 minutes in the third, and then Crosby, the hat trick, by scoring with 30.4 seconds remaining, giving him a goal in each period, and it would be a 4-3 Washington win. That would be your final.
Look how they get the same thing done different ways. Ovi scoring from 35 feet, the ripper over the shoulder of the goaltender, and Crosby's within 3 feet of the net on all 3 of them. Different ways to get it done.
Earlier today on The Point, heard a great feature Jeremy Schaap voiced over, talking about the influence and impact of the game of Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin, and made a Bird Magic comparison. You know, 2 players so influential coming in at the same time, their careers paralleling one another, playing different positions, but having the same influence. Kapanen sets up Rodriguez. Rister turned aside by Samsonov. Side of the net was Crosby looking for a bouncing puck and was not able to bat it out of midair as Wilson takes a hit and is able to force it forward to Eller. Throws the body around now. Crosby took that check, took the puck, lost it, ends up on the ice, and Nick Jensen is able to wipe it along the boards, and here's Wilson in center. Across the line, Orlov drops one back for Eller, down deep. Orlov banks one behind the net. It's chopped along and taken by Brian Boyle. He uses leverage to force it across the Washington line, and Eller will play it back as Samsonov will slow it up for Jensen. Orlov, the stretch pass, banked off the right wing boards to Wilson. Wilson will wrap it around. Uravari at the point, or rather Irwin brings it in, moves it through the high slot, Caroms to the right point. That shot from Schultz is blocked. An opportunity for O'Connor to break. Leads one off. And now a whistle and a stoppage as Pettersson took a heavy hit, ended up on the ice.
After maybe a little bit of a slow start, Crosby starting to get his hands on the puck in the guts of the game, and here he takes a big hit from Tom Wilson. Now these 2 guys are battling for the puck. After absorbing the hit, Crosby comes out of there with the puck. We talked in the pregame about his strength, how his balance is just remarkable, and Tom Wilson's a big dude, and Crosby holds on to the puck while absorbing the hit and rolls off to the net.
17 years in, still taking that punishment. Night in and night out. That shot towards the net goes in! A hope and a prayer from McGinn from the half boards. It caroms in behind Ilya Samsonov. Seemed to surprise Samsonov. And Pittsburgh has a 2-0 lead.
With traffic at the front of the net, Brock McGinn's just going to throw this to the net, trying to get it into where the traffic is. There's nothing going on here. It's Kuznetsov and Bluger are near the front of the net. This hits the outside of the right foot of Evgeny Kuznetsov, and Samsonov has lost his stick at this point. And between his elbow and the post over the pad, Brock McGinn, who was brought in as a free agent, a 4-year deal in the summer, has his 6th of the year, and the Pens lead 2-0.
Throw it towards the front of the net. You never know what might happen, and that was certainly what Brock McGinn just did. Tossed it towards the net from the half boards off the skate. Evgeny Kuznetsov. And it is a 2-0 road lead for Pittsburgh, trying to wrap up a 5-game road trip with a win. Sexton with a takeaway. Carlson towards the net. That was almost poked home by the pinching Faravari. Around the boards, up top Carlson. His shot blocked on the way in by Aston Reese. Unable to control was Jari. It's centered. And caroms to the high glass behind Jari as it's still pressure being put on in the offensive zone by Washington. Kuznetsov tried to go point to point. Faravari controlled. Oshie lost it in his skates. Dumoulin took it away. But we have a player down behind the play, and that is Faravari. Let's see if we have a penalty called, or if this is simply an injury stoppage as the two referees are getting together to have a conversation.
Yeah, there's no call initially.
Looked like he fell backwards. Oh, no, he's trying to...
As Faravari was into the play, trying to keep the puck into the Pittsburgh zone. And that's McGinn going to make man, his shoulder hits directly on the chin of Faravari, who's right down after absorbing this hit from McGinn. Shoulder right to the chin.
Dave Jackson, what do you see here? Is there a reason to call a penalty?
Well, that's a really tough call. Sight lines are going to be a big issue right here. If you're standing on the goal line, you can really see if there's head contact. The guy in the neutral zone has a tough time. He's looking through the back of the Washington player. There's nothing malicious about the hit. The player was shooting. His head was a little bit low. So it's going to be a judgment call by the officials on the ice.
Does not look like they're going to come away with anything. Faravari back to the locker room, but I guess they're just calling that an unfortunate hit to the head.
Yeah, so Dave makes a great point that as players you never really think about is that there is sightline issues for the officials on the ice. They got to look through the back of a player. There might be a player between where the hit is and where the official is. It becomes a real difficult call for them. And Faravari's gone to the locker room, as he'll certainly be looked at by the concussion protocol after taking that hit to the chin.
Takeaway in the neutral zone by Matheson. Able to force it down into Washington's end, wrapped around the wall by Matt Irwin. And along the half boards, Beck Malenstein down on his belly, the puck underneath him. Now he's up on his skate blades, and the officials say play on. They want this dug free. Alexei Protas lost it. It's loose. It comes out between the circles, weaving his way. Was Aston Reese through traffic, almost got a shot off. In front of the penalty box doors, Leeson came together with Zucker. A turnover. Leeson has it. He tries a centering pass, and a beautiful sliding block by Ruiva. Marzeller sends one behind the net. Malenstein reaches for it. Tom Wilson pokes it into the trapezoid. Wilson, 1-on-3, able to free it up to Eller. Eller finds a cutter. Connor Sheary lost it in his skates. It's sent back up to the point, kept alive by Carlson. He'll wrap it along the shelf, and Tom Wilson in the left wing corner tracks it down. A giveaway. Carlson puts up a high slot. Wilson turned it over. As he was trying to make the perfect pass, it looked like, And that's another Washington scoring opportunity that goes awry.
That's a couple of times where Oshie early in the first, there was Wilson, shoot the puck. You've got people to the front of the net. They didn't get a shot either time.
Sherry with a drop pass, missed Orlov. Carlson banks one. Wilson chops it to center ice. Eller missed Ovechkin. And now Kapanen able to send one back to Marino. Pedersen offside. Pittsburgh at the Washington line. 8:39 to go in the second. 2-0. Penguins on top.
Penguins started to come on here after a good Washington start. Brock McGinn throws it to the net off Kuznetsov's foot, and the Penguins lead 2-0.
It is V Week at ESPN. Our partnership with the V Foundation highlights the urgent need to support cancer research and to eliminate racial disparities in cancer outcomes. You can learn more and help support these efforts by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. And Emily, a great cancer survival story on the bench to your right.
In 2017, when Brian Boyle with the Devils in training camp, a routine blood test revealed that he had a form of leukemia. Especially scary for him because his 2-year-old son Declan was also sick. He was able to return in 2 months thanks to medication. He didn't have to avoid chemo, but perseverance is such a big part of Brian's story. He was out of the league last year, practiced every day waiting for an NHL team to call. Finally, the Penguins gave him a chance this year because of their injuries, and you can tell, doesn't take it for granted. There's Kasperi Kapanen.
And don't take it for granted when that number 1 line is on the ice as well for Pittsburgh, as Rodriguez, Crosby, and Kapanen all combined to strike again for the Penguins. They've got a 3-0 lead.
And the Penguins have basically been begging Kasperi Kapanen to get going, that they need more from him. He was asked this week, how would you rate your game? He said, terrible, thanks. He takes the pass from Crosby and zips it by Samsonov. Kasperi Kapanen has been outstanding tonight. A couple of chances in the first period. You see how pumped he is to score, to get on the board for Kapanen. A long-awaited 6th goal. Brian Boyle celebrates on the bench, and the Pens have taken a stranglehold of this game, 3-0.
And we wondered what the impact would be for Pittsburgh without Jake Gensel. He was the hottest player in the NHL through Monday. 13-game point streak, 15 goals on the season. He scored 2 after suffering the injury with the blocked shot that hit his hand. He came back before the first period was even over, and now he is week to week, according to the Penguins. That gave Kapanen the opportunity to jump up on the top line with Sidney Crosby, and he pays it off. A commanding 3-0 lead for the Pens.
That also extends Sidney Crosby's point streak to 7 games. Crosby's got an assist in all 7 games, but that's 11 points in the 7 games for Sidney Crosby.
He gets off into the corner, played back up to Orlov. That shot from the left point by Oshie, one-time down net, got through. Jari got a piece, and now it's taken away by Aston Reese. He'll hand one back to Bluger. He missed high. Comes to Letang at the left point. Backhanded one along the half boards. Bluger got it to the goal line. And Reese played it behind. That's off to Oshie. Oshie draws a penalty. The first of the night, as he had his feet taken out from under him by Pedersen. And now the extra attacker on as the net is empty for Washington. They're down by 3, but they will get the game's first power play. Unless they're able to score with the net empty, as Wilson flying down the left wing, thrown out in front, and in the net. Diving towards the goal mouth was Tom Wilson, as he took Jari's skates right out from under him. We get a whistle, and now we'll see if there is anything additional to come out of that collision, as Wilson was crashing the net.
Well, if there's anything else, it's a Pittsburgh Penguin penalty, as Wilson's had his feet taken out going to the net. Jari's been squeezing his right hand, his blocker hand.
Pittsburgh 28 has a minor penalty for tripping.
As Wilson goes flying into the net. He dumps his puck off to the wing and then goes to the net. There he gets run into by Pedersen again. Pedersen has the tripping penalty on Oshie. in the neutral zone. Fortunately, it looks like everybody's okay as Wilson loses his balance. Man, he makes a great play to keep his eye on the puck to deflect it wide, and he flies into Tristan Jarry. And the Capitals power play will get the game's first chance.
Here's a look at some numbers from the SAP Coaching Insights app. These are the 2 least penalized teams in the National Hockey League, and on top of that, Pittsburgh has the #1 penalty kill in the NHL. They've killed off 26 in a row. Here's Ovechkin firing one, and Jarry makes the save to begin the power play for Washington. Now, we showed you the collision at the goal mouth with Wilson. Here is the penalty that put Pettersson in the box.
Yeah, nice move by Oshie as he changes direction, catches Pettersson flat-footed, he trips him up. That one-timer by Ovechkin, shockingly, not a surprise, of course, but 38% all the Capitals shots on the power play come off of Ovi's stick, whether it's on the one-timer or closer to the net. They win a draw, he gets the first chance.
It ends up at the Capitals bench off that last clearing attempt. So with 6:43 to go in the second period, it's the Capitals team in desperate need of a goal. They have a chance on the power play, but the Penguins have not allowed a power play goal in 11 consecutive games. That is a franchise record.
26th last year on the penalty kill. This year, nobody better.
That's an incredible improvement. Carter in the corner. Tied up by Oshie. Floats back up top of Ovechkin to Carlson. Carlson top of the right wing circle. Down in the corner. Here's Kuznetsov along the half boards. Top to Carlson. Here's Kuznetsov. One touching it into traffic. Carter got a stick in the passing lane, but they couldn't clear. Carlson straight away. Take the shot. Kuznetsov fires one. Jarry makes the save. To the rebounds is Brian Boyle, and he will pitchfork it the length of the ice. Carlson wheels. Connor Sheary gets to the red line. Finds the trailer in Kuznetsov. Ahead of steam across the line after his own dump in. Letang meets him in the corner. It's along the boards and sent the length of the ice by Bluger.
Well, Bob, we haven't spent any time talking about Chris Letang tonight, man. He has had a fantastic year again for the Penguins. In the last year of his contract, one of those guys that they talk about, what's the future of the Pens? He's a terrific player.
Carlson to Ovechkin, and that sailed high and wide. And it was a self-clear as it caromed along the wall all the way out to the neutral zone. 30 seconds to go in the power play, but now the Penguins win the puck, and here is Letang killing time as he swings one to Ruhwedel. Ruhwedel takes a big hit from Wilson, but moves the puck down. As Boyle tries to create havoc behind the net. 15 seconds to go in the power play for Washington. Wilson gets a return, gets across the line, rink wide for Ovechkin. Right back to Tom Wilson. Down to 5 to go in the power play. Orlov fires one, chest save made by Jarry. The rebound to Ashton Reese, and he's got it out to neutral ice. And out of the penalty box is Pettersson. It's another kill, 27 in a row for Pittsburgh. That was a long shift as well, Ray, for Ovechkin. They left him out there for the entire power play, and he had been out there before.
If you're taking him on the power play, you're not getting much power play time. You're the next guy.
Under 5 minutes to go in the period. And the puck floats to the neutral zone. A foot race won by Nick Jensen. He has to kick it back, skate the stick. Deftly done. And now Leeson down the wing. Throws it towards the net. Poked on net. Jarry is there to make the save. As Connor McMichael came that close to getting Washington on the board. A little over 4 minutes to go in the second. 3-0 Penguins.
The Rangers are out to a 2-0 lead against the Sabres. Alexei Lafreniere cashes in on a juicy rebound, his 6th of the year. Adam Fox has assisted on both Ranger goals. 2-0 Rangers late in the second. Bob?
All right, Linda, thanks very much. Boy, the Rangers, they have been a Christmas present to their fans this season. Santa put a lot of goals under the tree.
Did he ever? Did he ever? I would say one of the big surprises in the league is how well they have played, how much they have scored. And
Eller cleanly wins the draw. Orlov puts it on net, and Eller just barely overskated the rebound. Rodriguez through center, and then across the line. Wheels and deals to the top of the circle, hoping for Crosby in the left wing corner. Crosby banks one back up top for Letang. Left wing pass for Matheson. Down deep for Kapanen. Sidney Crosby has it, turned it over, Hagelin the other way. Chips one to Orlov. Orlov hands one off. Malenstein, that wrister right into the chest of Samsonov, rather Jari, and he will hold on. We've got plenty more hockey to tell you about. The upcoming schedule. Saturday, Chicago at Toronto. A 7 Eastern time face-off tomorrow night. NHL Network. Then Tuesday night, 2 games on ESPN+. Carolina, Minnesota, and the Rangers in Colorado, hoping to avenge a lopsided loss at the Garden at 8 and 9 respectively. And then our colleagues over at TNT, the Kraken and Ducks, 10 Eastern, Wednesday night.
If you like goals, tune in Tuesday night. Those 4 teams can score.
3.5 minutes to go in the second. Ovechkin sends a pass to Schultz. He put it towards the crease. Karam's right back to him, and he sweeps it into the corner. Behind the net, Oshie lost the battle with Marino. Possible 3-on-2 taken across the line by Danton Heinen. And the centering pass broken up. Oshie flips one center circle, intercepted by Marino, and he'll pitchfork it right back down into Washington's end. Three minutes to go in the period. A takeaway. Carter looking to center. And that was deflected. Now back the other way comes Kuznetsov. Ovechkin sends it deep. Kuznetsov together with Pettersson. Ovechkin now in the corner with Wilson to try and dig it free. Thrown towards the net. Just missing it was Oshie. Oshie looked to cycle one, but gave it right to Danton Heinen. Heinen will send it in. Actually, it will be stopped by Carter, but he'll finish the job so the Pittsburgh Penguins can change. Across the line, Sprong drops one. High slot now, Nick Jensen gave it away. Rushing the other direction, Evan Rodriguez. Drops a pass back for Crosby. In the left wing corner, wrapped around by Letang. Gave it away to Sprong. Sprong's outlet pass, though, deflected by Rodriguez. And sent right back into Washington's end. Crosby tries to dig the puck free behind the net. He's got it. Sidney Crosby fanned on the pass attempt as he wanted to get it back to the point. Connor Sheary had his outlet pass intended for Sprong deflected. And now offside called Pittsburgh at the Washington line. 60 times now these two have met in the regular season. Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin. And Ovechkin statistically has had the better of it slightly, but obviously, at least in terms of goals, Crosby with 80 points, 35 wins.
I think what surprises me is that Crosby's just within 3 goals of Ovechkin in the 60 games. You know, of course, I don't think of Crosby like scoring at that rate. Ovi, of course, that's a 40-plus goal pace.
Aston Reese rips a wrist shot up and out of play. If you think about the two and how they've influenced the game, how many players do you think right now are in the National Hockey League because when they were 6 or 7 years old, they watched these two play?
Well, it's a thing for sure. I mean, of course, you don't have a number for it, but remember when Wayne Gretzky got traded to Los Angeles? 20 years later, there was a boom in hockey because the people that went as kids, when Wayne Gretzky came to Los Angeles, they were starting their families, and they became hooked in hockey because of Wayne Gretzky. The Trevor Zegras goal the other day, the flip pass was viewed 50 million times.
That's amazing.
See how many kids are trying that? The influence is there.
That shot on net deflected wide by Brock McGinn. Minute 10 to go now in the second period. Malenstein gets it to Protas behind the net, looking for Malenstein on the return, and he couldn't tee one up. It's ladled into the corner. Protas throwing the body around. Got the puck, tried to center. Continues after it along the right wing half boards. Down to 50 seconds to go in the period. The giveaway. Protas tried to play one back to the point. Right between the circles, it ends up with Aston Reese. And he pitches it out of harm's way. Carlson sends it hard around. Stopped in the trapezoid by Jari. He'll send it along the shelf. Heinen ladles it right back out center circle. Gloves down by Jensen. With 23 seconds to go in the period. Schultz rips a pass to Wilson. Touches it forward to Eller. He steps deep. The puck moved off his stick by Carter. Down to the last 9 seconds to go in the period. Eller along the goal line, try to kick it free. Tied up, 3 seconds to go. Down to 1 second. It looks like a penalty is going to be called as the horn sounds.
It's going to be Jeff Carter for hooking right at the end of the period. The period that the Penguins stretched their lead from 1 to 3-0. But they'll start the third period on the penalty kill as Jeff Carter will start in the box.
A very small blemish, though, Ray, on what has been a very good 2 periods on the road for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm sure they won't be too disappointed with this, but you've opened the door for the Capitals power play to see if they can get them back in the game.
The Penguins 11-0-1 when leading after 2, and they have a 3-goal lead as we head to the third. Between periods, back to the studio and Arda Ocal.
Thank you, Bob. Coming up on the Discover Second Intermission Report, it's the talk of the hockey world. Not everyone thinks it's entirely good for the game. The Zegras Milano showstopper discussion next.
You turn defense into offense, and Wilson goes right at Sidney Crosby, makes the backhand pass. And I mean, give Kapanen credit too. The puck's bouncing here, corrals it, cradles it, and then it's under the glove and in. How quick that happens. Transition, and there you go.
Nice, one of the best backhand passers in the game, Crosby.
Best backhand, period.
Yeah.
Some of his backhand shots are as strong as people's normal shots. Here's what they've done so far. Ovechkin with the lion's share of time on the ice and has one more shot on goal.
No, this is huge. So Carter takes a penalty at the end of the period, so you have the fresh ice. I mean, this is where Ovechkin is at his best. So down 3, get a chance early in this first 2 minutes, kind of make it 3-1 and then go from there.
John Tortorella, Rick DiPietro, Arda Ocal. Sidney Crosby with that assist, 7 straight games with an assist. He's on pace with Kirill Kaprizov for that mark. He also has 81 points against Alexander Ovechkin in his career, but that second period was all Pens all the time. Coach, what did they do right?
Well, it starts with their checking. There's just not much space out there for Washington. This Penguin team has played very well here the past few weeks. They were struggling with COVID. The coach was gone with COVID. Crosby was out, injuries. They were just treading water there for a while, and I thought they did a really good job of that, just staying in the hunt. But they've taken off, and it starts, to me, with the guy that couldn't even make a save in playoffs last year, in Jari. He's played so well for them and has given them the confidence to play.
Well, even to start the season, too. I mean, he struggled to start the season. Now, I mean, what he's turned himself into, I mean, is .934 save percentage, giving up less than 2 goals a game. And then, you know what I love about this, too, and you mentioned the coach, is, and he'll get, or he should get, consideration for Coach of the Year with everything that they. But, I mean, that McGinn goal, that's a set face-off play. And you just mentioned the way that they check. Right now, they're playing, I mean, and we always talk about it, people listening, coach will come in, fellas, let's keep it smart, let's keep it simple, let's play a good road game. And what you've seen through the first 2 periods is Pittsburgh's playing a really good road game.
You know Mike Sullivan well. What do you like about his coaching style?
Well, I think so. I mean, I worked with him for 7 years. Learned a ton from him. I just think he knows how to manage people. You're going to have to lean into some guys. You're going to have to put your arm around other guys. Just an incredibly smart man about the game, the X's and O's. But for me, he just knows when to push the buttons at the right time. And this game now, X's and O's are important, the foundation of it. But to me, it's relationships, and I think he's really sharp that way, and he uses his gut as far as how to handle people, and he's done a terrific job here.
Well, speaking of relationships and chemistry, there's definitely some on the ice between Trevor Zegras and Sonny Milano, but not everyone thinks that this goal, the goal of the year candidate, is great for the game. Torts and Ricky will have thoughts on it coming up next. Yes, who could that be?
This Second Intermission Report is presented by Discover, the official card of the NHL. Report.
Tic-tac-toe! Beauty, Carolina! Kaprizov scores! What a move! Wow, what a pass from Adam Fox! Oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me! Cale Makar!
A pair of heavyweight matchups exclusively on ESPN Plus on Tuesday. Hurricanes Wild, Avalanche, and Rangers starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Speaking of the Rangers, they're in action tonight against the Buffalo Sabres. Mika Zibanejad, who had been struggling, trying to find a goal, finally gets one to open the scoring here.
Yeah, they've been winning too. I mean, they were on a 7-game winning streak until they went up against Colorado. He hadn't scored since November 5th. And he's one of their major weapons.
Alexis Lafreniere pots his sixth as the Rangers have a 2-0 lead. This is the goal that everyone is talking about. Of course, it will be one of the goal of the year candidates, if not already securing its spot as the goal of the year. Trevor Zegras behind the net, what some people are calling the Dishigan, by the way, passing it in front of the net, Michigan lacrosse style, and Sonny Milano there with the hand-eye coordination scoring. Okay, so by the way, both of those players were interviewed by Linda Cohn for the In the Crease podcast, which you can find right now wherever you get your podcasts. The first thing I thought of when I saw that goal, Mr. John Tortorella, was, what does Coach Torts think of this goal? I really want to hear your opinion here.
Yeah, and it's tremendously skilled. For Sonny Milano, even to yell Michigan in the middle of a play in a game is skill. That's a skilled play. My position, though, is it good for the game? Like, I hear Ray saying all the kids are doing it now, okay, in practice and stuff like that. I'm not so sure. And again, I'm not trying to be a fool here, but I'm just not so sure it's great for the game. If you did that back in the 2000, late 90s, 2000, you get your head taken off. It's cool, you know, it's cool to watch and all that, but I'm not so sure it's good for the game. And I stand by that.
50 million views is a lot to see it online.
Well, it's not even, it's the goal is amazing, right? I mean, you said the fact that they've actually said that. Like, I have, kids in that coach in high school that they want me to drop plays off the faceoff so they can try to score a goal like that, to score the Michigan goal. But for him to be a rookie, to actually try that in a game as a rookie.
Yeah.
You would never even thought about doing something like
that.
What
would you have said if they were on your team and they did that?
Yeah, I'd have a talk with the people. I would after the game. And again, I'm not trying to be difficult about it. It's fun to watch. It's really cool, but I just think I think our game has gone so far away from what the game should be. A hard game, an honest game, and it's almost gotten too showman. I know you need to have it. You need to sell the game. But I'm just, I'm from the ilk of it's still a hard game to play, and a good, honest hockey game needs to be played. I think some of this stuff here, we get carried away.
But that's good for the game, though. The fact that it's been viewed that many times.
Yeah.
The fan that we're trying to attract.
Yes.
Is the casual fan.
But I think you're losing fans, too. I think you're losing other fans also when you're attracting others towards this stuff.
What would you have done if you were goaltender?
It would have been bad. Yeah, it would have been bad.
It would have been bad.
I would have pulled myself, I think.
Fair enough. All right, that concludes our intermission report here. Don't forget that this was the penalty that will lead to the Capitals and Alexander Ovechkin on the power play. Can they improve on their 17.6%? You've been watching the Discover Second Intermission Report.
Impressive, Ray, 3-0 Penguins.
We talked about getting off to a good start on the road. Well, they were perfect. In the first period, a beautiful give and go. Danton Heinen from John Marino. It's 1-0. Brock McGinn throws his puck to the front of the net where there's traffic. It hits Kuznetsov, goes behind Samsonov, and it's 2-0. Kasperi Kapanen has had a terrific night for the Penguins. They moved him to the top line with the injury to Jake Gensel. He takes the Crosby feed. Crosby's point streak continues. Kapanen's on the board. It's been a perfect 40 minutes for the Penguins.
22-18, out shooting the Penguins are to the Capitals. And you talked after one about the fact that Pittsburgh really couldn't be playing a much better road game. Did anything change in period number 2?
No, not really. I would say the first 4 or 5 minutes, I thought Washington started to have a little zone pressure. It looked like they were coming on a little bit. Then the Penguins got engaged. Crosby got into the game a little bit, into the flow a bit. The Penguins have really taken control of this early and haven't given it back.
Emily?
Yeah, Martin Farivari is not out here to begin. He's in concussion protocol, still being evaluated. His defensive pairman, John Carlson, kept looking over to my monitor asking, is he okay? What happened? What did you see? The reason he's so curious is this guy is beloved Grew up in Slovakia. His mom died when he was 9. Went to Sweden when he was 14 years old to play. Was supposed to bill it with another Slovakian kid. He got cut after 2 weeks. So he lived alone when he was 14 years old. A lot of maturity, a very low maintenance player.
And a player they will miss if he can't get back on the ice tonight or any time in the near future. We also are missing, as we check down on the bench, Tom Wilson. He is not on the bench for Washington either, so we'll have to get an update where that is concerned.
Remember, Wilson crashed into the net late in the second period. He ran into Tristan Jarry when Marcus Pettersson had taken an earlier penalty, so it's a big loss for the Caps, down one of their top pair defensemen in Faravari, and Tom Wilson, who always makes an impact, scored his 100th goal of his career the other night. He's been around the few chances that the Caps have had tonight, but they're on the power play. They got to find a way to get back in the game.
Chip one across the line, immediately turned back by Marino. Is there something you'd be telling the Capitals? Is there something strategically that you can do to crack this penalty kill?
Well, if you could get into the zone, but look how aggressive Pittsburgh is. They've got to be crisper, the Caps are, on their entries into the zone. The entry sets everything up. Once you get into the zone, overshoot the puck. Don't shoot or don't play for one shot. They just don't give you anything.
Carlson. Kuznetsov. Back to Carlson. Make the one-timer. Ovechkin creeping in. He is at the side of the post, looking for the rebound. He has it. Off the blocked shot. Carlson has it once again. Kuznetsov. Back straight away to Carlson. Ovechkin at the left point now. Down to 35 seconds to go on the power play. Kuznetsov is attacked. Gets it to Ovechkin and now gets it back. Kenny Kuznetsov looking for a shooting lane. Nothing there. Now to Ovechkin. Ovechkin up top to Carlson. 19 seconds to go on the power play. No shots coming for the Caps. Ovechkin.
I'm talking about overshooting. They haven't shot it once. Who cares if you've got zone possession? It never gets to the net.
Here's Ovechkin. He's up a wrister. That's kicked out with the right pad by Jarry. And that will end the power play. Carter out of the box. 0 for 2 on the power play, the Caps. And Jarry now is able to easily glove down that wrister from Kuznetsov.
Everybody has a role. You're in the game. You do your role the best you can. Look where Brian Boyle is. He's attached to the hip of Ovechkin. There's no room for Ovechkin to shoot the puck because Boyle was standing in his pocket. After Ovechkin moved, Boyle gets into the shooting lane and breaks the shot by blocks the shot of Carlson. New twig. It'll be good. The other one's no good, so this one's better.
28 consecutive penalty kills for the Pittsburgh Penguins, although a high sticking call, it looks like, is coming here. Quickly, let's check in with Linda Cohn.
All right, Bob, the Predators are in New Jersey. Less than 2 minutes after Pavel Zacha gave the Devils a 1-0 lead with his 9th of the year. Nashville captain Roman Josi ties up the game, beating Blackwood with his 9th of the year. We're tied at 1 late second. Preds on the power play, though.
What a year Roman Josi is having. In the Norris conversation again. Well, the Pens will get their first power play tonight. Killed off 2 Washington power plays. It's a high sticking call to Lars Eller as he gets a stick up on Evan Rodriguez. And the Pens power play, of course, might look a little different when Evgeny Malkin is back in the lineup. But Jeff Carter is their trigger man right now.
So a must kill for the Washington Capitals to have any hope to come back in this game, and they will control it. And Jensen will shoot it all the way down. So Eller 2 for high sticking. Letang swings one wide. Zucker gets it across the line. Hoping for Letang, but it looks like that play will be called offside. So the face-off will come back out to the neutral zone. Pittsburgh started the season dead last in the National Hockey League at 4 for 46 on the power play. They're 7 for their last 26.
It's going to be hard to dig out of that hole when you start so poorly. But you know, I mentioned that Malkin's not in the lineup. Well, neither's Jake Gensel, and so you're taking a big chunk of what would be a very dangerous power play with everybody healthy, and they're just not there.
Letang hands one back to Rodriguez. He gets it across the line. Off to Sidney Crosby. A return for Rodriguez off the outside of the net. Pitch to the half boards to Crosby. Chopped at it. Sends it rink wide for Carter. That shot tipped just wide. Zucker in the blue paint looking for a redirect. Carter has it. Past Zucker. Rodriguez first to the puck in the corner. Turns it over, and Oshie is able to send it all the way down. Good check by Connor Sheeran.
Caps have 4 shorthanded goals, and it might be a time where you take a little bit of a risk. If you can get control of the puck, somebody flies out of the zone.
Some pressure. Short-handed. It was Carl Hagelin. All over Letang. The other way comes Kapanen. Sends one out in front. And Rister is blockered away by Samsonov as he robs Simone. Back up high. Marino with a pass off to Kapanen. Kapanen feeds Heinen. Down to the left wing corner, it's Simone. Lines one back to Kapanen. Back up high to the point. Heinen and the high slot. That Rister is gobbled up as Drew O'Connor tested Samsonov, and Samsonov was ready for it.
I'll tell you, Kasperi Kapanen's not going to be able to hide in the weeds anymore, because every time he's been on the ice, it's been a dangerous chance, it seems like, for the Pittsburgh Penguins. This is what they've waited for from Kapanen. Power, speed. Here he finds Dominic Simone nose to nose with Samsonov, who makes a terrific blocker save to keep the game at 3.
Power play still going, and there is a tip. And after the puck again is Kapanen. Trying to put it behind the net, sweeps at it.
Maybe a bit of an awkward move by Samsonov in goal. He's bent over a little bit in the net.
Crosby chips one out in front. Toe drag going through the legs was Rodriguez, but he could not tee up the shot. Now it's Sidney Crosby being worked over. Played one back to the point in between Matheson and Letang and all the way down. In comes center circle as we are back at 5 aside. Here is Ovechkin. Across the line to Strong. Plays one back for a drive from Matt Irwin. Glove save made by Tristan Jarry.
Shop for the holidays at NHLShop.com, the official online store of the NHL and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. Shop now and get today's special holiday offer. NHLShop.com, a Fanatics experience.
Bob Wischusen, Ray Ferraro, Emily Kaplan. This is the 14th road game of the season for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they've got points in 10 of their first 13 away from home. As now offside will be called at the Pittsburgh line. Emily.
Martin Ferravari is not going to be returning. He has an upper body injury. Meanwhile, Tom Wilson, all I'm told is that he's still being evaluated, so we don't know if he's going to return to this game.
Well, how much more can Peter Laviolette's lineup be thinned out?
They just don't have any players. I mean, the hope is that Nick Backstrom will play one game just before Christmas. Then he can get the Christmas break and evaluate how his hip that he had surgery on prior to the year responds. They're hoping to get Jim Dowd and Garnet Hathaway back out of concussion protocol soon. Man, they are thin. Been a really difficult start for the Caps, which makes their record all the more impressive.
And to that point, last season, Carl Hagelin, Hathaway, and Nick Dowd played every game together the whole season. Now, it was a COVID-shortened season, but it was still close to 60 games. They played 520 minutes of 5-on-5 time, all 56 games together. Number 3 in the NHL for a line, and 2 of those 3 players are now missing. Hagelin's the only one healthy.
Now, 5 of their regular 18 skaters aren't in the lineup, aren't available to Laviolette as of now. And then you can add Ferravari to that, and of course Tom Wilson's not there. If they're not able to play, that's 7 of them. Like, how do you put a lineup together that's competitive?
How do you play without name tags? Carter comes through center, offside though, ahead of the play. On the left wing side was Jason Zucker. 14:32 to go in the third. 3-0. Pittsburgh, a commanding lead. And again, we've got more hockey upcoming on the national television schedule. Tomorrow night, NHL Network. Blackhawks Leafs at 7 Eastern. A doubleheader on ESPN Plus on Tuesday night. The Canes and the Wild And the Rangers in Denver to take on the Avalanche at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. respectively. And then our friends over at TNT, the Kraken and Ducks at 10 Eastern on Wednesday night. Dump in by Ruhwedel. Karam's up and out of play. So without those bodies, and with Ovechkin being bottled up, what would you do to try and create some offense if you're Washington?
Well, sometimes it's just not there for you. I mean, I guess the only thing you really can do is maybe you move your lines around a little bit, but you know, really your best chances is Kuznetsov and Ovechkin are able to break out. Maybe you put TJ Oshie there for now.
He's up there replacing Wilson, at least for now, but still a goose egg on the scoreboard.
But there's just, you know, they don't have a lot of options. Oshie's out here with Ella right now and Sherry, but the Caps are run down, and as much as they're run down, I think you got to give some credit here to the Penguins. It's not like they've had an easy road either. They had a COVID break early in the year. They've had all kinds of injuries. You know, they don't have Brian Russ, they don't have Evgeny Malkin, they don't have Jake Gensel. That's just up front. Yet Mike Sullivan does not change the way the Penguins play. They drive the puck up the ice. They play hard. They're a difficult team to play against, and because Tristan Jarry has rebounded this year, they have gotten solid goaltending as well.
You can see outside of Chris Letang, very top-heavy for the main players that are at least still healthy for Washington in their lineup. And even without Sidney Crosby at the start of the season, rehabbing after right at the beginning of the camp, opting to have the wrist surgery. So this is only his 14th game tonight.
Well, he's certainly gotten hot as he's become more healthy. First the wrist surgery, then he had to dive into COVID protocol for a bit. You see his last 6 games, it's starting to look more like the great Sidney Crosby.
Sherry to Oshie. Hoping on the cut for Orlov. That was broken up. Matheson pitches it around the boards. And a possible 2-on-1. Crosby down the right wing, moves in, backhands the pass, and that was broken up. Jensen was there. Orlov plays one behind the net. And Lars Eller now through center. Eller weaves his way across the Pittsburgh line, carries it deep, gets beneath the goal line, centers one out in front. That Sherry shot is blocked before it got through to Jarry. Trying to wind one deep to Simone. Instead it's taken back and banked off the half boards, out of harm's way by Brock McGinn. Coming up on 7 minutes gone by in the third. Zach Aston Reese puts the brakes on. Winds one deep, hoping for Heinen. McGinn trying to dig it free. Comes back to the point, floats past John Marino and out to the red line. Marino takes a soft pass from Pettersson. Plays one ahead off the heel of the stick of Aston Reese. Marino there to back it up, brings it across the line. Pitch one in behind, hoping for Danton Heinen. Instead it is reversed. And a stretch pass missed by Sprong. Heinen right back across. Wheels to the right wing faceoff dot. Dumoulin plays one left side for Letang. That's blocked by Sprong. He fans on the first pass attempt, but now hits Ovechkin. Kuznetsov moves into the backhand and scores! Evgeny Kuznetsov off the feed from Ovechkin. And the Capitals strike with a fast break goal. They're on the board. It's now 3-1 Pittsburgh.
The Caps break out a long breakout after Sprong fanned on the first attempt. He finds Ovechkin way up at the other blue line. There's the whip. Everybody stops for a second, and now Ovi's got a little bit of room. He knows Kuznetsov's coming up the middle of the ice. And as he finds Kuznetsov, the Penguins are in no position to deny him. He slides it around the left foot of Tristan Jarry, and Alexander Ovechkin continues his point streak. 22 assists on the season for Ovi. Kuznetsov has made it 3-1.
And the outlet Sprong here. Sprong puts the brakes on, winds one deep. That was blocked though at the Pittsburgh line, capping him the other way. And Rister goes wide to the stick side of Samsonov. Ends up back at the point. Rodriguez, his long shot gloved away with Sidney Crosby lurking on the doorstep.
Next 3 or 4 minutes are critical for the Penguins here. They've done just about everything right. You don't want to lose all the momentum here with a couple of quick strike capital goals.
Ryan Boyle across the Washington line. His shot blocked to the high glass, wraps around the shelf. Intercepted by Ovechkin. An outlet pass looking for Sprong. That was broken up nicely by Drew O'Connor. But it's right back down into the Pittsburgh end. Ovechkin first to the puck. Puts the brakes up. Hoping for some help. They'll cycle one for Oshie. Oshie peels to the corner. Back up top to Carlson. Left side now Schultz. Schultz, that diagonal pass picked out of midair beautifully by Simone. And that allows Pittsburgh to come back the other way, but they turn it over. Oshie with a head of steam moves in. Gets between the circles. Throws a wrist shot towards the net that was blocked by Dumoulin. It's wrapped around the boards and a self-clear by Washington as Oshie missed the shot attempt and then missed the point man. On the back pedal, it's Nick Jensen. And intercept by Letang. The game becoming a little more helter-skelter, and I would think, Ray, that has to favor Washington. You probably want maximum scoring opportunities down by 2 with 10.5 to go, even if you give up a few.
Yeah, well, it wasn't before because they had no energy. There was nothing going their way. You just get flat. Everything you work at ends on a dead-end street. Well, now they've got one, and they've got energy. Now the Penguins have to react.
Eddie Bluger tried to sweep one out of harm's way, couldn't do it. The Capitals still in position to put some pressure on. Orlov at the left point, had it knocked away by Brock McGinn. He gets it deep, and the Penguins will peel off for a change midway through the third. Allenstein tips it deep. Held by Jari, left for Pettersson. Marino in front of the penalty box doors. Then Heinen sends it down behind the Washington net. Zucker past Carter. Oshie there to break that up. 9.5 minutes to go. As Carlson has it, center circle. Barzell wheels a pass along for Hagelin. Hagelin moves in, feathers one towards the crease. That was blocked by a sliding Pettersson. Back to the right point, now left point Carlson. Carlson moves in, wrister, glove save, Jari. And now some sticks start to fly. As looking for a rebound was Hagelin. With 9:14 to go in the third period, Pittsburgh maintains their 3-1 lead. This is ESPN Plus Hockey Night, presented by New Amsterdam Vodka. Is presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, the official vodka of the NHL. Drink responsibly. That's a look at Biscuit, who became the official pup of the Washington Capitals. I think Emily Kaplan-Biscuit was slated at one point to join us tonight, but was double booked.
We were hopeful, but yeah, you know, it's holiday season, and Biscuit had a holiday party to attend, so he's not with us. On a more serious note, though, Tom Wilson, I'm just told, will not be returning to this game. He has an upper body injury. I'd keep an eye on Alex Ovechkin. It looks like he's getting a couple extra shifts out there.
He is out there now, as is Crosby. A little over 9 minutes to go. And again, first to the puck is Sprong. A step quicker are the Washington Capitals after that goal. Carlson to the right point to Orlov. Backhands one. Another glove save made by Jari.
Ovi's right around 21 minutes already tonight. He played 23 and a bit against Anaheim on Monday, and he plays a different collection of minutes, right? There's lots of times he's not moving around a lot. He waits on the periphery to find an opening to go and shoot the puck. He's still, you know, he's at 21 minutes already. Is here he had a little chat with Daniel Sprong, which is basically not going so well for Sprong. Every once in a while, you're the new guy on the line. These other two guys, Kuznetsov and Ovechkin, they play all the time together. Sprong's got to learn to play with them, even if it's for a short while. You've got to know where to be. It's hard to move in to play with great players. A lot easier to play with the pluggers.
Tyson waved off as Orlov has to come all the way back to retrieve the puck. Gets it to Oshie. Nice backhand pass through center. Carlson slides one to Eller. He gets pinned up along the half boards by Kapanen. Dug free by Oshie. Trying to keep the puck onside. Can't do it. Sidney Crosby right in front of the penalty box door. Gets a hit from Oshie. Turns it over. Kapanen. Nice toe drag by Kapanen. And an unbelievable save. Sprawling to his right. Samsonov as he was there to rob Dumoulin. What a play by Kapanen to set it up. Back the other way. The Caps. And that wrister sails wide to Eller along the half boards. In behind the net, Hagelin. Back up top. Carlson. Dumps one in for Hagelin. Carl Hagelin allows Carlson to pinch in. Along the goal line. There's the give and go between the circles. Hagelin. His wrister was blocked. Dumoulin leaves it for Jari, who jumps on top and covers up. Boy, nearly a highlight goal created a moment ago by Kapanen.
What an unbelievable move by Kapanen as he drags it around Orlov to find Dumoulin. Look at this save, the athleticism of Samsonov as he's leaning to his right, and then he flashes the left pad back to keep the Caps in the game. Terrific night. We've talked about Kasperi Kapanen a number of times. He drags Dmitry Orlov and then slides it across to Dumoulin. This is unbelievable athleticism by Samsonov.
Stick the leg back out to his left and rob Dumoulin. And at least for the moment, keep the Caps in the game. A battle for it in the right wing corner. This group out there grinding away. Happy to kill some clock here for Pittsburgh as Pettersson sends it behind. All the way around the wall. Marino lost his edge. Here comes Ovechkin. Tried to one-hand a pass towards Kuznetsov. That was blocked and sent the other way. Marino across the line. He moves in. Backhands a pass into the crease. That was blocked out in front. Teddy Bluger back to the point for a wrister from Ruhwedel right into the chest protector of Samsonov. It's worth another look.
We'll get a look at it from up on top, and you'll see Samsonov's moving to his right, but he's got to kick his left leg back. It's a late reaction, but his athletic ability allows him to keep his pad low and on the ice and flare out the leg to make the save. 11-1-1 for Samsonov on the season.
He has become, no doubt about it, #1 goaltender, it seems, for the Washington Capitals. As he has started 8 of their last 10 games coming into tonight, so make it 9 of their last 11. Orlov center circle. Pitchforks one in. Jari sends it to the trapezoid behind. Carter bounces one off the near boards. Is intercepted, but able to keep it onside was Alexei Protas.
These are all good minutes for the Penguins here. Nothing has to happen. Just grind the game down, try and melt 30 seconds off the clock, get a new line on the ice, and the next guys do the same job.
Over the drop pass. Over skating was Hagelin. Carlson along the half boards past Eller. Sidney Crosby keeps it moving. Pinching in right side, Matt Irwin. Gets it deep to Brett Leason. That floats all the way out to the neutral zone with 6 minutes to go. Crosby pitches in. Samsonov keeps the play moving. Eller to center. Sends one softly behind. Dumoulin keeps it around. And now Eller in the corner. Trying to get one behind to Brett Leason. But again, sound in the defensive zone. Pittsburgh, an easy breakout, and Bluger will send one deep and go after his own dump in. Sweep it behind the net past Justin Schultz. Schultz now first to the puck. Outlets Hagelin, drops one off Kuznetsov, but he'll wheel back behind his own net, wait for some help. Now with a head of steam, brings it forward with 5:15 to go. Kuznetsov across the line, into the skates of Ovechkin, looking for a return. Back up top, Orlov. Straight away now, Carlson. High slot, Kuznetsov. Looking for the cutter. That is Orlov into the corner. Orlov has the puck. Chops back to the point, and it's past Kuznetsov and back into Washington's end. Stretch pass off the tip of the stick of Sprong. And Ruhwedel. Tipped deep again by Zucker. And again, Pittsburgh will change. Flying through center is Nick Jensen. Gets across the line. Jensen trying to split the defense. Had it taken off his stick. First to the puck is Matheson. And now a 3-on-2 the other way for the Penguins. Unable to capitalize, though. Capping into the puck after his pass was deflected. Hold, plays it back up high. Matheson's shot into the pads of Samsonov. The rebound there. He was unable to find it at first. And now Eller the other way, but Ovechkin has to peel off and go to the bench for a change as Eller was all alone. There are 4 minutes to go, and I guess, Ray, we should start to keep our eyes on Samsonov and see when Peter Laviolette pulls the goaltender down by 2.
Well, they're getting to a point here you might have to think about it early. There's just no room through the middle of the ice. It's really impressive watching how quickly Pittsburgh supports each other. Another easy breakout. There's no forecheck. There's no danger.
Matt Irwin retreats. Eller behind Oshie. And sent right back out to the neutral zone by Pettersson. Across the line is Bluger. Plays it behind the net for Aston Reese. That's intercepted by Carlson. Here is Oshie. And Oshie's offsides as dragging it along the blue line with Sheary. With 3:11 to go in the third. Still an opportunity for you to check out our Star Watch feed here on ESPN Plus and enjoy the last 3 minutes and 11 seconds with cameras on Crosby and Ovechkin.
Fires the pass 93 feet to Ovechkin, who takes a quick look over his left shoulder to find Kuznetsov away from Chris Letang. The 35-foot pass finds Kuznetsov, and he makes a slick move around Tristan Jarry to bring the Caps to within 2.
And Samsonov to the bench as the net now empty for Washington, still needing 2 with 3 minutes to go. So they have the extra attacker on. But here is Crosby in the neutral zone, sends that one wide, shooting for the empty net. So instead, it will be an icing call. Back to Linda.
All right, Bob, let's get you up to date on the Avalanche and Red Wings. Already up 1-0 on a Devon Taves goal. Then Andre Burakovsky scores his 8th of the year. It's 2-0 Colorado. They scored their first 2 goals on their first 6 shots. Now 3-0 Avalanche. Bob.
Yikes, can they score?
Well, it was 3-0 Pittsburgh. Capitals with that last goal we showed you, but now they're running out of time. They've got the net empty. Ovechkin sets up Eller. Score! It's not over yet. Ovechkin to Eller, the quick snapper past Jarry. And with 2:46 to go, we've got a 1-goal game.
Lars Eller's 3rd of the year. He missed 6 games in COVID protocol. He's back in the lineup and he scores. Crosby tries to shoot for the empty net. It's a good try. You're up 2 goals. You're not going to miss very often. Well, he did miss. It's a face-off back on the icing. Ovechkin's got his 2nd assist of the night, and Lars Eller makes a perfect shot off the post past Tristan Jarry, and the Caps have clawed back into this.
Crowd alive here at Capital One Arena. Samsonov back between the pipes. We'll see for how long. That puck is wrapped around, thrown towards the net by Justin Schultz, deflects high and wide. Protas along the goal line. Carl Hagelin sweeps at it. It's between the circles, and it's pitched out of harm's way by Matheson. Orlov will retreat down to 2:15 to go. Samsonov again looking over at the bench. Kuznetsov with a head of steam, and there he goes. The extra attacker back on for Washington. They empty the net, looking for the equalizer. Jarry sends it all the way around. Ends up loose, and now it is taken by Crosby. puts the brakes on, easily over for a walk-in empty net goal by Jeff Carter. And just like that, with 1:53 to go, the Penguins have a 2-goal lead back. Although the Capitals, I think, are claiming that the puck went out of play in the Pittsburgh end on that wraparound. Immediately, TJ Oshie and Alex Ovechkin went over and started to complain to the officials.
I think this hits the linesman who's sitting on the boards. His legs are in play, which is fine if his legs are in play. But it's a terrible break for Washington. Jari's going to spin this around the boards. Unless they think it hit the mesh there, but it hits the linesman outside the blue line, and the Penguins are able to capitalize.
You can see Oshie immediately put his right hand up, signaling that the puck went over the glass and out of play, or at least should have been called as such.
Well, he
and
thought
instead
so.
It's a bad break.
Well, he thought so, but it didn't. And it hit the linesman, which was the bad break, because it dropped right on to the Penguin stick.
So Samsonov heads back to the bench, but now, again, it's a 2-goal deficit. Ovechkin fires one towards the net. Jari blockers it away. Oshie winds it around. Kuznetsov right wing side. Holds along the half forwards to Sheary. Sheary tries the center one. Blocked by Dumoulin. Kept alive by Carlson. His floater ends up in the glove of Jari, and he is able to pirouette out of danger. And Dave Jackson, our officiating expert, joins us. How difficult of a call was all of that, Dave?
Well, I tell you what, it happened 200 feet away from the net, whatever happened. We brought the rule in where you can challenge a missed stoppage. In this case, though, it has to be in the attacking zone by the attacking team. This was in the defensive zone. You play till you hear a whistle, and there was no whistle. You keep playing. That's what you're taught from the time you're 6 years old. They don't have any case here. Play on.
And that's exactly what happened. They did play on, but you could see Oshie and Ovechkin both reacting as if the puck should have been ruled out of play. And then, Ray, as you said, the extra bad break is it hits the legs of the linesman and creates an easy empty net goal for Pittsburgh.
Well, once it hits there, you're out of position, and Crosby finds Jeff Carter, and
he's inching closer and closer to some of the real Mount Rushmores of hockey on the all-time goal.
You know, I know this is last night. Steven Stamkos tied me in points, and now Jeff Carter's one behind me in goals, and all I can do is hope for a 4-month slump. Right? I mean, the guy's got Stanley Cups. I mean, does he really have to pass me while he's at it?
Not right. I mean, for those of us that know you and appreciate
he's
what
going
a
by
nice fella you are, we want you to stay inside the top 100.
Jeff's going by me like a speed bump. It's not even going to be close by the end of the year.
Minute 7 to go. Again, the net empty for Washington. Unable to control the draw, though. Dumoulin pokes it behind the net. Letang moves it, and it's out to the neutral zone. Final minute of play in this 60th matchup regular season between Ovechkin and Crosby. Across the line, Kuznetsov carries it deep behind the net, looking to center, and does! Cherry put it on, and Jari was there.
Too little, too late for the Caps here as they started to generate some chances from the slot, Bob, that really gave him a chance.
Crosby just off the outside of the net as he was looking for an empty netter. And now an odd man rush opportunity for Washington. Ovechkin across, rink wide pass. Carlson drives one, blocker save by Jari. The rebound poked, maybe with a high stick by Oshie. It looks like that will be the call as he was trying to bat it out of midair, but clearly put the stick way up in the air for a high stick violation. That will bring the faceoff back out to neutral ice.
You're going to get a look here at Oshie trying to keep the puck alive, and it's about 8 feet in the air. He knocks it out of the air, and
so down to the final 15 seconds.
Now the Penguins they're over on the bench, and they're kind of ribbing Crosby as he's missed the empty net twice. A lot better when you win.
3 seconds to go, and after playing probably 2.5 perfect periods of a road game for Pittsburgh. They are rewarded with a 4-2 win.
You hear teams talk about all the time, oh, we want to play a 60-minute game. Well, it's hard to control 60 minutes because the other guys are trying pretty hard too. The Caps put a good rush on. 2 third-period goals, the goal by Kuznetsov and the goal by Eller. But Pittsburgh's full marks for this road win.
And as you said, now without Jake Gensel, or who knows how long, still without Evgeny Malkin, this is a team that now has played 14 games on the road. They've gotten points in 11 of those 14. They are 8-3-3 away from home. And is it a group you think is starting to find its stride? How much better do you think this Penguins team can get as we go through this season?
Well, I think they can get considerably better because the people they're adding back to their lineup eventually aren't small parts. It's Evgeny Malkin, who may come back, and there's going to be some stretch out time for him to get going, but there's Gensel, there's Brian Rust. That's a good team. And now they're wound up